Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nick Gray from Phandroid, and today I'm doing another smartphone camera comparison, comparing the Pixel 3, which I'm using to shoot this right now, versus the Pocophone F1. Now, this device has been on the market for a couple months now, and it's probably one of the most interesting devices we've seen, or did see, in 2018 due to its price. It has flagship tier specs, pretty much everything that you can get on the OnePlus 6 and the OnePlus 6T, but at a price that's even cheaper than that. So the question is the camera on this phone as good as what you can get on other flagship devices? So we're going to compare that today. As I've done in all my other smartphone camera comparisons, we're going to show you everything in this video is going to be recorded completely on these two devices. So the Pixel 3 right now, you see that in the bottom left-hand corner, and other clips coming up on the Pocophone F1. So make sure you keep an eye on the bottom left-hand corner to see which device is being used. Since this is a camera comparison, the only real specifications we're worried about today are those of the cameras. On the back, the Pocophone F1 has a 12 megapixel sensor with an f1.9 lens with a secondary 5 megapixel depth sensor. The camera itself can record 1080p video up to 240 frames per second if you're looking for slow motion, or if you're going for the maximum resolution, you could record 4K at 30 frames per second. And as for the front-facing camera up here, you're looking at a 20 megapixel sensor with an f2.0 lens. Unfortunately, there's no optical image stabilization on either sensors, but it does have electronic image stabilization in order to keep the video as smooth as possible. And if you haven't memorized the specifications of the Pixel 3's camera by now, you're looking at a 12 megapixel camera sensor on the back with an f1.8 lens, and it can record video at 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p video at 120 frames per second. It does have optical and electronic image stabilization in order to keep those video frames as smooth as possible. And then if we flip things over to the front here, we're looking at two front-facing cameras, both of them 8 megapixels. The second one, though, has a wider angle lens, a 19 millimeter lens versus the 28 millimeter lens of the main sensor. And I'm going to give you an idea of what that can actually do while you're taking pictures or recording video. Now, some might think that having two sensors on the front of the phone might be a little bit of a gimmick, but since the secondary one on the Pixel 3 has a wider angle lens, you can do this. Zoom out to that 19 millimeter lens and get all of your surroundings in the background rather than just having the regular, there we go, readjust it, the regular 28 millimeter lens. It actually changes the way that you frame your shots, take pictures, take selfies with your friends, and you get the background behind you as well. I mean, honestly, that sunset is absolutely gorgeous. With the specs of these two smartphones squared away, now we can jump into some side-by-side photo and video comparisons to see how these two cameras actually compare on the Pixel 3 and the Pocophone F1. So let's get to it. exploring Death Valley National Park, and this here is the Badwater Basin, which is the lowest point in the Western Hemisphere at 282 feet below sea level. These here are salt flats. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's not a lot of sound around here besides the people that are talking. There's a little bit of wind, but it shouldn't be affecting the audio quality of this video at all. But this should give you a good idea of what you can expect out of these two cameras when recording video. Lana, what do you think of these Badlands?
Nice.
You want to live here? Well, some of the places in the park have been pretty busy today. There are a lot of places that are just completely desolate. So we stopped on the side of the road to get some shots. But there are random cars that come every now and then. So that's going to do it for our photo and video comparison between these two devices. And surprisingly, the Pocophone F1 stood up quite well against the Pixel 3, considering that the device costs less than half of Google's flagship smartphone. Now, if you take a closer look at the photos and the videos, you'll notice that the Pocophone doesn't have quite as much detail as the Pixel 3. Google's flagship does offer better color accuracy, white balance, and color reproduction, but it does suffer a little bit when it comes to recording video, mainly due to its aggressive noise cancellation, which leaves the audio really muffled. Now, it's not surprising that the Pixel 3 does come out on top against the Pocophone F1 when it comes to camera comparisons, but the Pocophone F1 is actually a really good option if you're looking for something on a budget that has great performance but also doesn't skimp out completely on the camera experience as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you enjoyed what the Pocophone F1 has to offer or if you'd prefer the Pixel 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.